This is a bookcase from our v-berth, which we took off as part of the rehab project we're doing there. And we've sanded it and finished it with one coat of Sickens. And just on a couple of the surfaces, you can see we're going to add a second coat of Sickens this afternoon so we can put it on the boat, back on the boat on Saturday for this weekend. The green tape, incidentally, is just masking off a piece of plastic that's set in here to hold books and stuff in place. It hangs like this, screws like this to the wall. So we just knocked down some of the fuzzies on this thing with a little 100 grit sandpaper, and we're going to apply some Sickens to just the sides and a little of the front. Makes the house smell like varnish, which is nice. We expect to finish this v-berth rehab job this weekend, one way or the other. And the other side, either side you can see when it's mounted, so we'll give that a little extra. So we don't want too much of this stuff. Kind of like varnish in that respect. Okay, and one other part we want to do. Lay this puppy down. And just go across the front of this with very, very light coat of Sickens. I wonder back in the day how many little carpentry shops in South Jersey made a living turning out stuff like this for Silverton. It sure ain't gonna win any design competitions, but it's handy. What's gonna be on there? Might as well look nice. When we arrived at the boat on Saturday, we took off all the tape that was used to protect the walls from the trim, and then did the reverse and taped the trim off so we could finish painting the walls. See the spots there that we didn't get to last week. Turns out there's a lot of little places to tape down there. Amazing. And then we started to paint. Used a 1-inch chip brush, and when the paint goes on really well. All around the edges. Took us about half an hour to 45 minutes to do all of those edges all the way around. And while that paint dries fairly fast, it's not fast enough to be able to pull the tape off. We'll have to do that tomorrow. So on we went. No one likes to watch someone painting, so I'll spare you that. But it worked out really well. On the way out, we were amazed at the number of people that were there. First nice day. 2 weekends ago, there were 3 of us down here working. Today, there's probably $500,000 worth of pickup trucks parked down here. Lots of people working on their boats, getting them ready to go. Nice to see everybody back here again, though. Gets kind of lonely down here in the middle of the winter. Well, that's it until Sunday.
Hello out there in video land. I'm resting after our torque job. We torqued all of our porthole windows because I thought it would be a good idea. And I really wanted to film my airborne derriere up on the bunk, but Bill wasn't game for it. It was quite the contortion. Anyhow, we did a few torques on the 4 portholes, and now we're going to tape. We torqued, and now we have to tape. Is that what we're going to do today? The outside of the boat?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, let's let's get rocking and rolling then. Speaking of torquing and taping, we also de-taped the rest of the cabin so that now we're finished. The next horrible job that's going to be attempted to complete is I'm going to steam clean and blast and do something about the fur, because we don't really want to remove it because it makes the boat so incredibly quiet when we shut everything down. Really don't want to do that. My next desperate thing is to just paint some flowers on top of the mold. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do, but it's not pretty. Bill, you might want to pan over to the worst part of the boat. Okay, Bill's now panning over the bookcase, which may not look like it to you guys, but it's quite an improvement over what it looked like before Bill refinished it. And that's where we keep all of our manuals, and I've been told that I can only keep 3 books at a time. 3 for me, 1 for Bill on the boat. All the rest of the books have to go somewhere else. And then over here is the worst example of what I have to try to clean. We're not sure it's mold, but we're pretty sure it's mold. And Bill, this is not funny. Mold is not funny, okay? It's not a funny subject. Are you over there yet? You are? Why don't I believe you? Oh, okay. So anyway, that's pretty bad, and it's also very discouraging, but I will get to the bottom of it, so to speak, this summer. I have many vacuums, steam cleaners, you name it. Either that or I'm just going to rent one of those rug cleaners and pay them $100 to do the damn thing. I'm not sure yet, but we'll try it first. Bye.
It was a pleasure on Sunday afternoon to finally put everything back in where it belongs in the v-berth and the guest berth, put the mattresses back in, take out all the tools and the extension cords, and call that project done. 40 yards of masking tape, about a quart of paint. I don't know how many rollers and brushes, but it's finally done. And we're looking forward to moving on to some real boat projects now that we're finished decorating for this year. Before we left on Sunday afternoon, we had to take a look at the engines. It's a starboard engine. We haven't been down here since November of last year. But there were no bad fluids in the bilge, like oil or antifreeze, so engine survived okay. And we're going to do a quick look around and maybe vacuum up the deck, and then we're going to call it quits for this week. Next we tackle some of the outside stuff on the boat. But that's it for this week.